Then Neeraj Chopra continues his bid to defend the world title. He got the gold in Budapest in 2023. What's going to happen in 2025 in Tokyo? We have it running. Our teams are keeping a tab on what's really happening. These are live developments as we speak, and it seems like USA is leading the charge. Arshad Nadeem only at 82 so far, and the qualification mark was 84.5. Neeraj Chopra with his first throw qualified with an 84.80, and at the moment sits comfortably at 84. But 86 is the time and the score to beat at this point in time. Neeraj Chopra, he's cruised into World Athletics Championship Javelin final in Tokyo yesterday, and in the backdrop of rising India-Pakistan tensions at the ongoing Asia Cup. And that's the first throw at 83.65. That's Neeraj Chopra's first throw. Neeraj in quest for back-to-back gold. Even if he manages a bronze medal at the Tokyo World Championships, he's going to make a hat-trick of medals or podium places and finishes at the World Championship. If he manages to successfully defend his world title, only the first Indian to do so and the third athlete across the world to defend a javelin throw title at the World Championships. Now, we've been mentioning the ongoing Asia Cup, the Cricket Championship. Another high-stake Indo-Pakistan showdown is set to unfold. This time it's in Tokyo. Tokyo is the same place where Neeraj Chopra bagged the Olympic gold, and now he's back to redeem himself after a little bit of a shortcoming performance that took place in Paris just last year at the Olympics, where Arshad Nadeem of Pakistan managed to score an almost 93 meter long throw when it comes to the javelin event. Now, Neeraj Chopra returns to the city where he won the Olympic gold back in 2021, now aiming to defend his World Athletics Championship javelin crown. Pakistan's Arshad Nadeem will be standing in his way. At the moment, doesn't seem to be much of a problem, but they all have 4 to 5 tries, and only the first round underway as we speak. And this sporting rivalry comes amid heightened political tension. We've only made it clear just days ago after Pakistan's tantrum and India's win over Pakistan in the Asia Cup. Indian players declined to shake hands with their Pakistani counterparts, a silent but telling reflection of the strained ties after the recent terror attack in Pahalgam. The controversy continues to stir up diplomatic unease, but it's mano a mano in Tokyo. Back to Tokyo, Chopra sealed his spot in the final with an 84.85 meter throw in his very first attempt at the qualifications. I've earlier pointed out 84.5 was the qualification mark. In his very first attempt, he did so. Nadeem, meanwhile, survived a scare, saving his campaign with an 85.28 meter heave on his third and final throw. So he made it to the final event by just a mere margin. What's more is that you've got another Indian who's competing in this final of the javelin event. 2 Indians taking part. You've got Sachin Yadav, who's also managed a score of 86.27 in his first attempt at this point in time. This will be their first face-off since the Paris Olympics. We're talking about Nadeem and Neeraj Chopra. Nadeem shocked the world, and of course Neeraj Chopra as well, with a gold-winning 92.97 meter effort. Chopra settled for the silver, but the Indian ace has been in top form this season, breaching the long-awaited 90 meter mark with a golden throw of 90.23 meters at the Doha Diamond League just this year, back in May on the 16th of that month. Now, Neeraj Chopra won the gold last year in Budapest World Championships with an 88.17 meter. Right now, Sachin Yadav seems to be the lead Indian. And can Neeraj Chopra now repeat history in Tokyo, the same place where he bagged the Olympic gold? He'll face stiff competition from not just Nadeem, of course, but also from German star Julian Weber. He's the first person who's on the list. And then you've got Grenadian powerhouse Anderson Peters, not throwing a very good throw in his first attempt, but we'll have to wait and find out what happens. India's Sachin Yadav, he's joined Chopra in the final, like I pointed out. 86 meter throw seems to be the lead Indian when the first round of throws is talked about. And it's not just about medals anymore, it's about pride, it's pressure, it's India versus Pakistan. Well, Shekhar Vijayan, sports commentator, with us on the broadcast here. Many thanks for taking out the time and speaking to News9, Mr. Vijayan. What do you expect? What are you hoping? I'm sure you're glued to the television screens yourself. Not a very nice throw by Neeraj Chopra in the first round, but again, let's not discount Sachin Yadav's first effort, 86 meters. And just out of nowhere, it's not Julian Weber, it's not Anderson Peters, it's not Chopra, Nadeem or Sachin Yadav. It's the USA star who's come out on top with an 86 meter. And giving him stiff competition, Mr. Vijayan, is Sachin Yadav, not Neeraj Chopra. But we're still talking about the first round. Neeraj Chopra on the 5th spot. This could very well change. What are you hoping and expecting? Over to you, Mr.
Vijayan. I think you just put it so, you put it so succinctly. India is in the competition. Now we're talking about India in a competition, in an event which a lot of Indians don't even participate. We're talking about javelin throw, and you've got two Indians in it, which speaks for itself. And the fact that, the words like, form, technique, launching angle, height, throws, own power, these are words which are being used nowadays. I was just doing a Google search. These are words which are being used nowadays in terms of javelin throws. As in, we are talking about sports in a very different way now. We're not talking about just cricket or football. We're talking about javelin throw, and India's, not just making strides in it, they're making gigantic, they're just making huge leaps in this. And it's nice to see, Indians participating in this, not just one, but two Indians participating in this. And as you're talking about the India-Pakistan rivalry, so to say, I don't think there's any rivalry here. I think there's India always, which is heads and shoulders above others. This is a very, very interesting sport, and Neeraj Chopra has actually shown the way by being a disruptor, by being an outlier, by showing us that you can win in this sports too. And I know for a fact that India today is going to be watching this with bated breath. They're going to be watching, everything about it. They're going to be trying to understand what is Neeraj Chopra's, his own power, his technique, his launching angle, his height, his trajectory, and also not to mention his wavy hair. So I think he's a brand in himself. He's somebody who represents India, somebody who represents Bharat. He's somebody who represents what India believes in. And Neeraj Chopra is the pride of India, and we are all looking forward to him winning.
And Mr. Vijayan, before the second round actually begins, which we're tracking live, before the second round actually begins, what about Sachin Yadav? What a huge surprise! I mean, he's got the size on his side as well. Because when you look at, the Grenadian powerhouse, when you talk about Julian Weber and the size of Arshad Nadeem itself, it's massive. Sachin Yadav coming with 86, he's second on the spot right now. Do you see him pulling off an upset?
See, I see him pulling on upset. I also see him as an example of India's sporting infrastructure. Sachin Yadav coming in, from behind, just showing the fact that in India's sporting prowess, India's sporting infrastructure is really coming of age, and we can see the results now as we talk. We are talking about two Indians in a world championship in an activity like this, in a sporting activity like this, which speaks really well about India, which represents India. And I would want him to create an upset. I would want Sachin Yadav to create an upset, because if you look at what you just mentioned in terms of body, in terms of physical power, in terms of persona, he's got all this and much more. So he can actually create an upset here.